Recording in progress.
Hello everybody, welcome to Results podcast. It's great to be here. We're recording today on audio on the podcast and also on video on YouTube. So whether you're watching it or listening to it, it's great to have you here, and thank you ever so much for your time. Firstly, Happy New Year. This is the first recording that I've done this year, and it's great to be here. And I've got a very special guest for you today, whose name is Andy Goode. Andrew specialises in something that I think is just so incredibly important right now in your marketing, and that is video. So many businesses tell me that, well, yeah, you know, I've done a video once, you know, and you know, I recorded it on my phone and stuff like that, which is fine. Don't get either Andrew or myself wrong here. We're all for that, but we also want to talk to you about how you can become better at producing videos and how you can market those videos. So without further ado, welcome Andrew. It's great to have you here. Thank you ever so much for your time on this, what is a bank holiday on the 2nd. So I do appreciate it. Just to kick off, Andrew, could you tell everybody a little bit about you and what you do, please?
Yeah, good morning, Steve. Great to be on this one, and Happy New Year to everyone. Yes, it's lovely to be on here, and thanks for having me on. I've been doing video for many years, but the best part of 30 odd to 40.
You were like me then. You started very young. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't quite as young as Steven Spielberg was, but I started my career on Super 8 films a long time ago. I mean, Steven Spielberg, I'm not comparing myself to Steven Spielberg, by the way, but he did start making films when he was 8 on Super 8 film.
Wow.
And that's how I started back in the day. And I felt shooting stuff on film with a very limited amount of footage to use when you're shooting gives you a bit of discipline to try and plan a bit more, because you can only have so much film before you run out, and that's it. So you've got to plan a bit.
Sure.
That's how I started back in the day.
Wow, fantastic. And I know that your industry, like my industry, the marketing industry, has changed phenomenally in that time. You know, what was even probably just a year or two ago has now changed or improved, or, you know, and it's obviously important to embrace those changes in business. But just to kick off, first question, Andrew, why video? What do you think is the reasons why? You know, I said a few minutes ago it's something everybody should embrace. Give me your take on why that is.
Well, I think the main reason that you've got to be doing video now is that if you don't, you're seen to be sort of behind the curve. I mean, it's sort of like maybe 10 or 15 years ago, people would say, well, have you got a website? And of course, these days, everyone's got a website, which is fine. And of course, now the question is, have you got a video on your website? And if you haven't, you're definitely missing out on a massive amount of SEO, you know, search engine optimization. And the way I would say people should take advantage of video is specifically to have a high quality, strong video front and center on their homepage on their website, which is sourced off YouTube. And the reason I say that is that Google owns YouTube. And YouTube is now the second most used search engine. So if you type in goods and services, say in Portsmouth or Southampton, and you've got a video on your website for that goods and services, that might be the first thing they find. And people tend to be a bit lazy, and rather than look at the website, they'll look at the video and decide whether or not they'd like to come to you to buy your services.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a strong, high-quality video on your website as the first instance, you are definitely missing out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, you know, talk to someone like you, Steve, you know, a marketing person, you know that, you know, these are the key tools you have to maximise the chance of your work being found and your services and goods being used.
Yeah.
Especially what is might be seen as a tightening, for for want of a better phrase, economy as we go forward.
Yeah. I know when I go to a website that I don't know. The other day I was looking at various CRM systems, and what was I doing? I go to the website and have a look. I just want to watch a video so that they can show me their CRM system. I want to see what's it like. I don't want to book a meeting with them yet because, I know I'm going to be sold to and so on. But I just want to have a look at the video. So I get what you're saying there. I'd also add to that from my opinion on that is that in video, you can be far more persuasive. When you come to my website and all I've got is a load of text, people go, not reading all that, or they read it and it comes across okay, hopefully. But on a video, I can be passionate, I can be empathetic, I can be fun, I can be, loads of different things. I can use my body language like I'm doing now to emphasize how incredibly important something is. And so it just enables, I think, us to be better at communicating. And one of the things I often say in business is that people... in marketing, you need to be able to get people to know, like, and trust you. And other than meeting up and shaking hands with people and so on, there's no better way, really, of getting people to know, like, and trust you than to see you on a video, because you get an impression of that person. So I think that's, for me, is an important one as well.
Absolutely, Steve. And with so many businesses these days being either one-man bands or very small, 2 or 3 people, there's a lot, we obviously move in the same sort of networking circles in the area.
Sure.
And a large number of companies are one-man bands, or they're headed by someone. And if you put yourself in the video and say, "Hi, I'm Bob Smith and I sell the best widgets to the south of England," like you say, it's an engagement. If someone puts themselves out there on video, you start to make a decision about whether you can work with this person. This
Bob seems a really honest and sincere guy. How do we get that? How do we get that from the written word?
Exactly, and it shows that you're happy to put your head above the parapet and engage with your potential audience. And another good thing about having a nice video on your website is that when people are on the train and they're trying to look at your website on something like on a mobile phone. I'll grab the iPad. That's how I'm doing the Zoom at the moment. But on the phone, they've got to read that. If it's a mobile-friendly, website, then it'll adapt. But it's still going to be a lot of reading, a lot of scrolling. If there's a video they can tap on, and all of a sudden, your face is full screen. "Hi there, I'm Bob Smith. I'd love to sell you my widgets, and these are the best widgets in the South. But don't take my word for it. Here's a customer testimonial." Then you edit in the customer testimonials. Automatically, you're thinking, well, maybe I can work with this guy or girl or whatever. And, it ticks a few boxes of, well, I've seen his face now or her face, and I'm thinking, well, they seem fairly honest. And they talk about the pricing, and there's a couple of happy camper customers. It's like having a really good website. Having a great video complements a great website, in my opinion. But I would say that.
But we're going to go on to talk about the different types of video, Andrew. And I know you you show and believe the same thing as I do, that there's a place for what I'd call a professional video, like the one that you'd help people to produce, and there's also a place for the iPhone video, which you can use on TikTok or wherever you're going to do a simple self-produced video. So I know you believe in that, and we've already spoke about 2 different ways of using video. Number one being testimonials. Fantastic, great opportunity. If you're not getting video testimonials, and if you've not got video testimonials on your website, then for me, you're missing out. Videos can be very, very powerful in helping improve your conversion rate. And then the second one was, I said I like to go and have a look at the software. And you can do like a screen capture video where you're not videoing yourself, as a person, but showing people your computer screen with a video on it, or perhaps a piece of software, or a what else could you could do a PowerPoint presentation all about your product or service. So there are many different ways you can use video.
Yeah, I mean, screen capture software, having some good ones. I bought mine a while ago. It's about £30. It's been absolutely invaluable for doing. I've done some 3D renderings of an underground. It's actually a crypt, and the only way, and you can move it in real time. It's done on a big server in America, but the only way you can get video of it is to do a screen capture. But you can do it in HD and 4K off your computer.
Yeah,
and it was the only way of getting that sort of thing into the video.
Yes,
and it was. I mean, if you haven't got screen capture software, you're really missing out. Can I just say a very quick, free, handy tip with customer testimonials?
Please, yeah.
Everyone was doing Zoom meetings for a long time, and of course they or Zoom or Teams or whatever, and they've kind of like sort of eased back a bit. But if you're regularly talking to your customers via Zoom, pay for the upgrade, get the Zoom so you can record. It's not expensive. I think it's £15 a month.
Yes, it is. Yeah. I do that. Yeah.
Talk to your customer and say, look, any chance of a quick testimonial? Just explain who you are and what you do, and tell me what you think of my service. Hit record, and they'll send you the recording. And all of a sudden, you've got an asset. You've got one of your customers saying what a great service you deliver. That, as you just said a short while ago, is invaluable. And you can give it to someone like me, or give it to your kids. They can probably edit it for you. But get that onto Facebook, onto a quick testimonial from a client on Facebook or LinkedIn.
Yeah.
You never know where that might then link to your next customer.
No.
And the other thing, I mean, even if you don't do anything with it straight away, store it. I call it asset banking. You don't want to get all these things when you decide to make a video. You want to try and get them in advance, because once you start building this asset bank, you can suddenly think, I had a great chat with Steve about X, Y, Z, what I do. I can then talk to someone else rather than just have the same, I'll definitely go to Steve. I'll definitely go to Steve. I'll definitely go to Steve. What you want is different aspects of your business as customer testimonials.
Great advice.
And these days, it doesn't even really matter how you get them as long as the content is good. The technical quality is not good. It's not the end of the world, but it's not most important thing is what's being said. And of course, the other way is you just get your client to record a selfie video.
Yeah.
And then they send that to you, or send it to someone like me. You can you'll see that the shape of the video will start to come together when you start seeing the testimonials. And sometimes I've done one video for a guy who didn't want to be in the video, so everything is just his testimonials with a picture of him at the front and end. Okay, yeah. So still very effective.
Absolutely. As I said, there's so many different ways you can do this. I use, if I'm in a meeting with a client, a physical meeting, towards the end of the meeting, I'll say to them, just want to make sure that you were happy with everything over the last month. What does that do? It gives them an opportunity to tell me whether they're happy or not. Now, if they're not, that's in a way a good thing, because at least I know they're not, and I can maybe try and solve it. But assuming they are, and generally speaking they are, I say, that's brilliant, I'm really pleased. Would you do me a really big favour? Any chance of saying that into the camera so I can use that in my marketing? And nobody, well, I say nobody, you get the odd person who goes, oh, no, I don't want to be on video. And we'll talk about getting over them in a few minutes. But, for me, it comes back to that pot of gold, If you're like that, if you're afraid of being on video, my answer is do a Nike on it. Just do it. That's what you need to do. Just do it. Get over it. Go and make a total mess of it again and again and again on your phone, and get better. Improve. It's just like riding a bike. The first time you do a video, you're probably going to be rubbish. So you don't probably want to go straight, from never doing a video to in front of somebody like yourself, paying them, an amount of money to do a video. Before that, go and practice and mess it up. I still mess up videos and just go, delete, do it again, so.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. I mean, it's never been easier once again, back to the phone. It's never been easier to record yourself presenting. There's software you can get for an iPhone or an Android phone that runs the auto cue your script in Vision whilst at the same time filming it.
Okay. I didn't know that.
And that can be something you can use in your marketing as it stands, or as a rehearsal tool before you come and see someone like me. And it is a skill. I mean, I never used to really appear much in front of camera. People say I've got a face for radio, but not even the voice for radio.
Not at all.
But because I've had to jump in front of the camera to market myself and my skills, in my little studio and all that kind of stuff. And I suddenly thought, this is not easy. I'm suddenly feeling the pressure I've got other people when I put in front of so by doing it myself, I suddenly realised, actually, yes, you do it one or two times, stop, have a cup of tea, review it. And perhaps the most important thing is that if you do want to do a script and put it on a phone or an iPad and film yourself, the most important tip is that the spoken word and the written word are completely different. You can have a massively long sentence that's written down, but when you read, you don't really have to breathe in time to what's being said. No. So the most important thing is to read out loud what you've written and see if you can get through it. And if not, more punctuation, and most importantly, shorter sentences.
That's good advice again. Yeah. So
I'm giving away all my secrets.
No, well, I appreciate your helping. That's the bottom line, and that's what that's what the Results podcast is all about, providing advice and helping, and I think it's really important to demonstrate. You're demonstrating your expertise, I think, Andrew, and coming across really, really, really well. Wanted to talk to you about. I know we've had this conversation in the past, so I wanted to talk to you on this interview about the difference between and the importance of a professional video like the one that you've done for me and you do for people, and the time when it's fine to use a Zoom video or a video that you produce on your mobile, and where and when and why would you do different ones?
Sure. From my perspective, from the sort of thing I do for my clients, I think it's the sort of video that they would be happy and very proud to put front and centre. The first thing you see when you go to their website is the video. Yeah. And you haven't got to scroll down and it says at the bottom, click here to see a video. Then you click through the page, and basically all that extra clicking, people don't want, that just puts people off. So if I make a video for a client, it's going to go on the website, it's going to be very clean, it's going to be very professional, great sound, great pictures, everything about it's going to be very good, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
People might say, well, why do you need to do that on your website? And I would say, if you don't have a professional or a good video on your website, then basically people are saying, well, it's not a very good video, or it's not very good quality, or we can't hear what's being said, or they record it outside and all you can hear is wind noise. Mm-hmm. And people say, well, why is that important? And I always come back with the same phrases. Well, would you go to your website designer and say, I want everything done in crayon, looking like a 3-year-old did it, which might be nice if it's stuck inside the fridge, but you wouldn't want that as your website homepage, would you? So in the same way, you've got to have a spankingly good video to go on there. And that's the kind of thing I do. And as you said in your question, well, what about other stuff? And I would say the things where you shoot stuff on your phone, I'm holding up the phone to the podcast people, that's great if it's kind of got a short shelf life. Like if you say, got a special offer running this week, and you can then put that on LinkedIn, and the message is more important than the technical quality. If you're saying basically, I'm running a special offer this week, or I really want to talk to you about this because that's what's happening in the world, or something like that, then that sort of thing is fine because it's got a much shorter shelf life. Yes. Whereas the kind of video that you want to put on your website that's you're proud of, it's probably going to last 2 or 3 years at least anyway. Yes. It would be more expensive to make. And the more disposable stuff, for want of a better phrase, is great because it's time limited. Yes. So you can, the best of both worlds is I would strongly recommend if you have a website built so you can easily upload a regular blog as a sort of sidebar. So you've got your main website, you've got your main homepage, you've got your main video, and the sidebar is this weekly blog on whatever. And that kind of thing is also good, because the more video you refresh on your website, your homepage, I believe that also improves your Google rankings as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we've already spoken about this in the past, as I said, Andrew, and I totally and utterly endorse what you're saying there. There's a time, if you go to my website, you'll see loads of videos. I've got loads of them, and most of my blogs, which I'm blogging twice a week, I've got 450 videos on my YouTube channel.
Wow.
So, I'm totally, absolutely practicing what I preach here and what we're preaching. Get those videos done yourself and get them onto your blog and out through social as well. But if you go to my homepage, you'll see the video that Andrew did for me, and you'll understand the difference. That's the important thing. If you go and have a look at my blog and watch a video on there, and then go and have a look at my video on my homepage, you'll go, oh wow, that is so much better. And I would never ever do a video myself and stick it on the homepage, because it didn't quite look right. It's okay, it's reasonable, but do you want to come across as okay and reasonable in your business? No, you want to come across as professional and really good. And hopefully, when people watch my video, they'll think, oh, Steve's clearly, good. He knows what he's doing, and his image is good and in keeping with everything that he does. Now, one thing I wanted to ask you about, because I think this is an interesting one, and that is, well, it's utilising a background like the one I'm on right now. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not recording this from my prison cell. This is actually a background that I'm using on Zoom today. How to do that, to present yourself better than you would if you saw my office right now. I've just moved into a new office. It's a home-based office, and it looks okay, but it doesn't look as professional as it does with the background I've got here, in my opinion. But I wanted to talk to you specifically about green screen and how businesses can use that, because that's a thing that people often have heard of, but they either don't understand or never really used, or think it's something that can only be done by, experts. And what's your take on that, please?
Well, that's a great question, and I'm a big fan of green screen. And the crazy thing is, when I first started doing video a long time ago, doing green screen was an art in itself, because it was so hard to do. But you alluded to how things have changed over the last few years, and one of the things that got so much easier to do really well is green screen. And for me, it's particularly appropriate at the moment. It's a very good vehicle to produce a very high quality professional video, but without having to worry about do I have to tidy up my office if the camera crew is going to come in, or what's it going to be like if they're digging up the street outside. And you gain a lot more control by shooting green screen. And I'm obviously a big fan, so I do happen to have a green screen studio in Hamble, which is one of my sort of like my main offerings for my clients. So they come to my studio. It's not soundproof, but it's sound dampened. I've got lots of those black foam triangles.
Oh yeah.
And carpet on the walls to absorb the sound. So it's very, very clean sound. I use a broadcast quality microphone and lights and cameras and shoot in 4K. So we tend to get a very good result. And for people producing a short promotional video for themselves, it's ideal for that. And it gets around all the, where are we going to film it? Do we film it indoors or outdoors, and all this kind of, you come to me, you come to the studio, you can use my auto cue, you can, have bullet points on the auto cue or word for word, and you can present a short video to talk about your goods and services. And it's, for me, I think it's a great way of getting that homepage video done without spending a fortune. And, it's a lot of, it's not the same kind of inertia as making a really massive video with lots of money and budget, and people go, oh, I don't know if I want to spend that kind of money. It gets you off the first rung of the ladder and gets your video there. And once you've got it, the most important thing is you can make use of it. Get it out there. Stick it on LinkedIn. Stick it on Facebook. Say, put it on Facebook and say, look, this is my new video. What do you think? Any feedback? Do all that kind of stuff. And at the same time, you've got it on your website and you're improving your SEO. And the other thing I'd say is, I was going to mention it a short while ago, that a massive thing that people are missing out on at the moment is, used to be called Google My Business. It's now called Google Business Profile.
Yeah.
When you look at someone Googles you, or you get Googled, you get a sidebar with the business information. In that position, you can put up to a 30-second video to promote your business. So you can make a very short video, which you can shoot at the same time as the main one.
Yeah.
But make sure it's 30 seconds, which is 90 words. So you make it 80 words.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
Put that video on there, and that massively improves your Google rankings.
Right.
Because not many people do it. Because not many people know about it. It's one of those little secrets that I should have known about that ages ago.
Do you know what? I didn't know about that, and I can tell you now that will be done by the end of today. So I'll do that video, and I'll do it initially just to get it up there, do it myself, and then I know we're going to meet in your studio in the next few weeks, so we'll redo it and get it done, really professionally. So that's fantastic.
It's one of those things. So everyone's going to say, well, so where's your Google Business Profile video? I haven't done mine.
Oh, you haven't done yours. I don't feel quite so guilty now. It's cobbler's shoes, isn't it? Sometimes you're so busy doing videos for other people that you don't get a chance to do your own. I have the same with marketing. I remember a little while ago I went for a period of about 2 or 3 weeks without sending out an email, which for me is very unusual. But the reason was I was just so busy doing the marketing for other people and didn't get the time to do my own. So there's a lesson there for everybody, I think.
Indeed, and the thing about the short video is it's actually very hard to boil down what you might do in under 30 seconds and not feel like you've left something out. So in a way, you've got, you've got really, in 30 seconds, you've got 3 sentences or 3 short paragraphs.
Yeah.
And it basically who, why, and what, who you are, what you can do, and a call to action. And it needs to be it's extremely condensed thing.
Yeah.
But the idea being that if it's good enough, that it'll be a sort of springboard into your website.
Yeah.
And then they'll find out more about you. But it's in its purest form, I believe it improves your Google rankings quite a lot, because most people, perhaps in some business sectors that may be a little bit drier, like accounting or business advice or whatever, perhaps don't have that video.
No.
And if you do, then all of a sudden you're going to be number one, hopefully, in that area.
One of my little sayings is be outstanding by standing out. And, obviously people listening today are going to be from many different industries. But the one thing I do think is probably the case with most of those industries is that your competitors are not yet really utilising video. And if they have got a video, they're not utilising it as well as they could, which sort of, for me, I'll give you an example. I've taken your video that you did for me, and it looks great, and I've stuck it onto the homepage of my website. And then I go, right, okay, well, where else can I use that? Well, I could send it out via an email to everybody. I could add it to LinkedIn, to Facebook, to Twitter, to Instagram. It's on YouTube. And will I just do that once and then forget about it? No, I'll be promoting it again in weeks and months and even years to come. My most successful video, actually, in terms of views, was produced, I think, in 2013. It was either 2012 or 2013. And it's got something like 45,000 views now. And
wow.
the reason it's done so well is I keep putting it out there. I keep sending it, I'll push it out through social probably every couple of months now. That video goes out and it picks up another 500,000 views every single time I do that. So, as well as, don't think like the video that you've got is, you can only promote it once, because most of the people, most of the time, won't see it. When you're promoting it on any form of social media, for example. I've got 9,000 followers on LinkedIn, and if I posted it right now, or even, not on a bank holiday, but on a normal weekday, most of them wouldn't see it. Let's say maybe a couple of hundred of them would see it. Mm. So therefore I need to, post that video on a regular basis. The other thing I find with videos, I appreciate when somebody comes to somebody like you, Andrew, there's a process to go through and it takes time. But when I'm doing my own videos, once I get reasonably good at it, and I'm not brilliant by any stretch of the imagination, but once you get reasonably good at it, you can produce them very, very quickly. If you said to me, how long does it take you to write a blog post, Steve? I'd say, well, if I'm going to write 1,000 words, it'll probably take me like half an hour, 45 minutes. I then got to get it proofread to make sure there's no typos in it. And then I can upload it to my blog and off I go. Whereas if I do a 5 or 10 minute video, even if I do mess it up once or twice, I can do it in half the time. And if I nail it first time, it's only taken me 5 minutes. I then just upload it to YouTube and then create a link into my blog. Job's done. And it's so much quicker. It can save me a lot of time, as well as the fact that it converts more. It's also videos really, really powerful for me at driving traffic from wherever to my website to watch the video. That again is such a powerful thing. I'd say I probably get somewhere around about 500 people per month visiting my website for free to watch a video. Now, if you compare that with the cost of pay-per-click advertising on Google at £2 a click, that's £1,000 that I've just made by having a really professional video on my website and using social to drive traffic to it. So, when you consider, it's going to cost me money using someone like Andrew or using Andrew, yes, it is, but do you know what? It's just a no-brainer in terms of return on investment. And
just from what you were saying there, I mean, the sort of thing I do, the sort of thing you do, it's a perfect pairing. And, for people out there who are trying to work out what they can do in 2023 to get more business or try and, just basically like the swan, swim a little faster underwater just to stay going.
Yeah.
Find yourself a good marketing person like Steve, and hopefully someone else who can do video like me. I don't know
absolutely.
about marketing stuff, but I do know about how to make good videos.
Yeah. And then it's using that video in your marketing, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. So we're coming to the end of the podcast, end of the interview, end of the video.
Can I just very quickly show something? It's only, I'm afraid this is only for the people with video.
Okay.
Probably just be over my shoulder. Here's Steve.
Who's that suave, sophisticated, handsome? That's the word I was looking for.
That's a frame grab from the video shot for Steve. But I just want to show you quickly how it. It's going to take a while to warm up. Come on, there we go. Oh, there we go. So
there we go. Yeah.
That's how it looked when we shot it. At Gatcombe House in Portsmouth.
Yeah.
It was a location green screen.
Yeah.
I was doing something else there, and I just dragged Steve down, said, jump in front of the green screen and say a few words. And we've got a cracking video out of it.
Yeah.
And this is how it looks.
Looks now, yeah.
So if everyone wasn't sure what green screen actually meant, it's a green screen.
It is a green
so
screen,
obviously just take out the background and change it
and it's what all the TV companies and so on use, isn't it? You know,
one of the best ones is when they did the Olympics, they had in Tokyo especially, they had this green screen studio in London for some. Well, hang on, I might probably get confused. I think it would have been at the Winter Olympics, the green screen studio in London, but it was live green screen with very, very high quality processing, and it was really hard to tell if it was real or green screen. And it's getting to the stage now where you can shoot stuff, you can put an office background in, and it's so clean, you think, well, Steve's got a massive new office. Mm-hmm. It turns out it's green screen.
It's green screen,
even if people realise it's not real, it's incredibly clean and tidy, and it's a great way of getting stuff done. Right?
Yeah.
Promotion over.
No, thank you. So, two things to finish. Well, actually, three things. One, what would your top 3 tips be in terms of video production? 2, I know you've got an offer that you'd like to make people. And then 3, can you give, tell people how to get in touch with you and what to do?
Sure thing. Well, I think because of my age and a touch of OCD, I would say planning. I'm a big fan of the 6P principle.
Yeah.
Proper planning prevents poor performance. And with video, especially if you can plan a little bit before you get involved, you can save yourself a lot of time and especially a lot of money. So, have an idea of what you want. And then very, very quickly, work out what you're trying to do with it. What the most important thing is, what are you trying to do with the video? Then maybe who's your audience? And how do you want to go about it? I mean, sometimes people don't want to appear in their videos; they just want to do something where someone provides a voiceover and you have maybe an infographic, and those sort of things are also cheaper now. They're all done online, and you can actually get, if you got, especially if you're doing some sort of financial services type thing or something where it's just very hard to illustrate, you can go down the infomercial route, and it doesn't even have to be your own voice. If you don't want to appear. So there's lots of different options. So have a good idea. I'd say tip 1 is just have a good idea and plan a little bit.
Okay, great.
And the tip number 2 is I do have an autumn-winter offer on my green screen studio. It's basically a package. You can get up to a 2-minute main film with a bespoke intro sequence, like in Steve's. We put his name on the side of a balloon.
Yeah.
It's all done online. So we have a nice opening. Then we can use archive footage to illustrate what your product is, and a call to action at the end. That's up to 2 minutes, and then that's $3.99 plus VAT at the moment for a winter offer. And also, if you want to go for that 30-second video, it's another £99 plus VAT. So you can get the whole thing for basically under £500 plus VAT, which is quite a bargain, I would say.
I agree. And it's worth its weight in gold.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and hopefully we can put a link to the green screen website, which is hampshiregreenscreen.co.uk. But I'm hoping we'll put some links.
We will. Certainly. Yeah. No problem at all. And so, if anybody wants to get hold of you, is it the Hampshire Green Screen site, or is there?
Email is my. So I've got 2 websites. I've got andrewgoode.tv, which is the main video production website, and then there's the Hampshire Green Screen. But email is info@andrewgoode with an E on the end, andrewgoode, all one word, .tv.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you. Right, that just about wraps it up. Thank you ever so much to my guest, Andrew Goode. It's been really, really interesting. Great to hear your take on what I believe is really, really important. I hope we've given you some ideas and ways in which you can use video, but really what I really hope is that you do the Nike. Just do it, go out there and get it done. Yes, go and get a professional one for your homepage, but utilize video and you will see your profits soar, I believe, in 2023.
And I think it'll help you keep that cutting edge. And even if you don't use me, just use somebody to get the message. We're all going to need it, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, thank you very much for listening. I look forward to speaking to you again on the next edition of the Results Podcast. Thank you very much.
Recording stopped.